Hey, it's Joe Amoia, the Ambassador for Love. Today I've got something great for you. We're going to go deep, really deep. So buckle up. This is going to be a great ride. One of the things I hear from women all the time is that there's so much competition out there. What can I say or do to make a guy like me? Well, you know what? There are some things you can do. And I'm not talking about batting your eyes and and showing your cleavage and wearing skin tight jeans, revealing your butt crack. I'm not talking about that at all. What I'm talking about is something real simple. So let me give you an example. When I was dating my wife, we were together about 3 months and we went to Las Vegas on a trip. We were at the Mandalay Bay. And if you've ever been there, Mandalay Bay doesn't have a pool. They actually have a beach. And we're lying there, we're on the beach and just taking in the rays, and my wife and I are talking. All of a sudden this beautiful woman walks by and my wife turns to me and she goes, "Wow, did you see the boobs on that one?" And I got to admit, I was taken aback. I was kind of shocked because, see, I had dated a woman, I was actually engaged to a woman who was very jealous. She was very insecure. And she was so insecure that it made me timid. Okay. And what happened is because I remember one time we were driving in the car and we were stopped at a light and the traffic, the pedestrians were walking in front of us. And there was a beautiful girl and I just felt the eyes on me. It was kind of like, "What are you looking at?" And I was so afraid to move because I was going to feel the wrath. And, I laugh about it now and it's like, what the hell was I thinking being with someone like that? But the reality is that being with someone like that made me feel like crap. It made me feel like I was always on pins and needles, and she didn't trust me. And I believe I'm one of the most trustworthy people, where the more rope you give me, the more I'm going to show you that I'm trustworthy. So that insecurity, that jealousness, which was cute in the beginning, really didn't work for our relationship and really caused a huge rift and was a major problem. And so, going back to Mandalay Bay, I remember being in that scenario and saying, "Wow, this chick's different. There's something about her. She's actually not only allowing me to look, she's actually pointing it out." And I thought that was amazing. And the reason I bring that up, because one of the things I hear all the time is, what do I say or what do I do? And that comes in many, many forms. What do I say to make him like me? What do I say to have him call me? What do I do to show him that I'm a great woman? And here's the thing, and this is where it's simple. And I say a lot of this is simple but not easy, because there's only one thing you've got to do. Are you ready? Pay close attention. Come in a little closer. Okay, here we go. It's to be the best you that you can be. Show up as the real you from day one. Don't be afraid to show that you got some stuff. One of the things I loved about my wife is that she was real. She didn't pretend to be something she wasn't. If she was upset about something, she showed it. And, she wasn't the greatest communicator back then because, a lot of you women are like, "Well, I'm afraid to say this because, you might not like me. You might not want to be with me." You know what? Here's what we men look for. We look for two things. We look to see that we're going to be happier, and we look to see that our lives are going to be better with you in it. So if you show us that our life is going to be better and we're going to be happier with you in it, we ain't going anywhere. Why would we? Think about it. If a man was with you and he knows that his life is better and he knows that he's happier, why would he throw it away for something else? Life is always filled with opportunities for bigger, better, faster. But that doesn't always mean it's the right and best thing for you. And see, I'm going to give you some insight into how us men work. How us men who want to be in a relationship and who have no problem with commitment actually think. It's that we don't have problem with being monogamous. We don't have problem with being faithful. And we do so because we know that the woman in our life is the best thing that ever happened to us. Now, don't think that you have to be this gorgeous specimen, because the right guy for you is going to love you for who you are. He's going to be attracted to you for who you are. So that's why I say from day one, simply show up as the real best you. Don't do things that aren't you just to get a guy. I worked with a client one time where she used to always try and look her best. And it became like a job. It became like a chore to her. And she was like, sometimes I just want to be in sweats. And I'm like, you know what? If that's what you feel like and that's genuine, as long as it's not a first date and you're not going to the country club for tea, then be you. When I first met my wife, I love a woman who looks good, in high heels and a nice dress. And I also love a girl that looks great in sweats and a hat and a ponytail. And when I saw my wife like that, I'm like, oh, she looks good like that too. Okay? Because, what I want you to get from this is that there's nothing you have to do. There's nothing you have to say other than being your authentic, genuine self. Because here's a little flashback for you. Have there ever been times where you're on a date and you're worried about what to say or what to do and you get tongue-tied and you look like a fool? That happens to me all the time. When I'm worried about what the other person's going to think or, you know, what they're going to project onto me, or I'm trying to impress them and I'm looking for the perfect words, I often stumble and sound like an ass. But when I'm just being me and I'm just showing up as the genuine Joe, that look, this is who I am, this is what I have to say, this is what I have to offer, and I live from that place, I find that the words just flow easily and magically. And I always find that I take the right and best actions. So I want you to get out of your head and simply start getting into your heart. And simply from day one on that first date, just sit back and like, you know what? I'm a rockin' woman. I've got so much to offer. And here's the key, is you got to own that. Okay? And if you don't, there's an old expression, fake it till you make it. So start acting that way until you do. It's like a muscle. You just got to start acting until you develop that strong self-confidence and self-esteem muscle. And when you can sit back from that place and simply know that you're an awesome woman and the guy that you're with, the right guy, sees that, he's going to go, wow, this woman's head and shoulders above the rest. This is the woman I'm looking for. And that's when the guy will choose to be with you. Not because you manipulated him, not because you tricked him, because you showed him you're the best thing for him. So I really hope that this resonates with you, because I see so many of you struggling, looking for what to say and what to do, as if there's this magic script out there. And there's really not. The answer is as simple as it sounds. Just show up and be the real you. Now, here's the key. If you're not, if you're constantly in your head and you're trying to say things or you're trying to do things to manipulate a guy or to get him to like you or want to be with you, and it's not genuine, it's coming from a place of fear, it means you got a little work to do. You got to take some time off, some mirror time, to really see why that's happening. And once you deal with that and you clean that up, then you can go on and be that awesome woman you are and create the space so that right guy will show up in your life and give you everything you desire and deserve. I know I threw a lot at you today. You might want to go back and watch this again, but I really hope it helps, and I really hope you take the time to really sit with this and take it in. As always, it's an honor and privilege to be with you. I'll see you next time. God bless.